fact, our third edition of Three Guys Get Real. A big hand for the Three Guys Get Real. Three guys Get Real, where three guys cover off conversation points, usually about mental health, but particular conversation points that most men don't talk about. So we like to talk about the things that men don't usually talk about when you talk about mental health. Let's meet our three guys. Morris?
Hey, let's talk about sex. Oh, great. Let's talk about health, baby. Let's talk about mental.
And what's the story, Morris? What's the story?
What's the story? What again? If you haven't seen the catch it before, my name is Morris Churka from Edmonton. Right? North Central, yay! Right?
Representing.
and representing what part of the city, Dieter?
Yeah, my name's Dieter Wenzel, and I run a consulting boutique consulting company, and I can be reached at dieterwenzel.com. And I do human resources type recruiting, consulting in total rewards, how to pay people. And lately I'm spending more and more time around mental health fitness, mental awareness, and bringing play into the workplace. So thank you for having us for a third chat.
Yes. And the world needs to know, as I always say on any one of our episodes, which again, by the way, this is our third episode of Three Guys Get Real, but something that I always bring to the attention of our audience is that Dieter is the best kept secret in human resources Alberta. And you need to explore his amazing consulting services so that you begin to understand why I believe he's one of the most top-notch HR professionals here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. You bet.
Yeah, well, I'm expanding. And I'm starting to look at opportunities stateside, because this virtual workplace is, as most of our listeners are aware, you can now work anywhere. I don't know if Morris can put on that monkey gorilla suit on Zoom effectively as he can at the CFL games, but yeah, working remote's become quite the interesting open door.
And Morris is a professional videographer and photographer, soon to be a professional
life insurance advisor.
A life insurance advisor. Tell us about that, Morris.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, as dressing up as a gorilla, I like to bring life to everybody. Okay. Maybe a life insurance advisor is not like that. Oh, you know what? I see the world out there, and I just want to make the world a better place. So obviously, me dressing up as a gorilla, right, bring joy and excitement. But there's a lot of pain out there. There's a lot of tough choices out there for people and their families and loved ones, what to do. And growing up, you know, I had a pretty tough time. I didn't come from a rich off family. And so there's that personal pain. And I just want to help people to make the best of their life, right? By helping them financially, by helping them create a plan of action that at the end of the day, they can rest assured. And you know what? You know what I mean? Like joking around and just make life more enjoyable. So,
why? Thank you, Morris. And I do want to qualify one thing about Morris. We've talked about this gorilla suit. Now, if you're watching this video, this awesome video, and you're from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, you don't know that we have a professional football team. who hasn't played in quite some time now. And we have a most beautiful stadium, a most beautiful football stadium. And Morris, to entertain the crowd and get them all worked up at the football game.
Best Entertainer Award.
Dresses up as a mascot in a gorilla suit and entertains the crowds at our football game. And apparently he's won an award for that. You rock, Morris.
Actually,
You rock,
I
Peter.
won 2 awards.
Pardon me?
I won 2 awards.
Okay, Robert, you got to talk about yourself for a minute here too.
You bet.
Yeah. Talk about you, man. Talk about you.
Pump yourself here, buddy.
Robert Manolson, the
Time out. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the main event. Here's
Robert Manolson, the creator and facilitator of powerful play experiences, positive workplace, mental health for teens. And what a pleasure it is to be here tonight. It's the sun is shining, the weather is warm. It's a great night here in Edmonton, Alberta, and how excited we are to be here tonight to talk about, I don't know, expectations, and maybe how expectations, I'll just put the microphone down here, how expectations are often misunderstood or maybe not clearly communicated. And as a result, what we're finding, especially during COVID, the misunderstanding around expectations seems to generate a certain lack of kindness or a certain lack of unkindness in interactions between people, that it seems the misunderstanding around expectations seems to be bringing out, the not so nice in people. What's your take on that?
I got a good start on this one.
Okay.
So in our second episode, as usual, Robert, you set the table for a conversation about 3 guys, and some of the posts and some of the comments on YouTube, they're saying, hey, it's great that guys are talking about mental health and mental fitness and mental awareness, etc. And then in our last chat, I just submarined the whole thing by saying, well, it's not just guys that are having trouble talking about these issues. Everybody's talking about it. So I just want to acknowledge that, you're trying to drive the bus into just the guy area. And the reason that that's so important to me is, as you're talking about expectations, I don't really know what our purpose is as 3 guys in this. What are our expectations amongst ourselves? And because I'm not a professional in mental health, I studied psychology and I worked in a mental health facility when I was younger, but I'm not qualified to provide advice or direction to anybody. That being said, these conversations are incredibly valuable because I have seen in social work settings that men really have a hard time of being open and talking about the things that hurt. Right now, I would say that there's a lot of people who are struggling with unemployment. They're struggling with financial stress, the whole list of things. I'm not going to go down that road. The people dealing with those in one of our previous videos, we were talking about how the manager doesn't have that opportunity to check in with their employees. I think it's a challenge for men to open up in the workplace.
Is the nature of how we've been living and working and playing over the past year or so, feeding a certain unkindness, some agitation amongst people when expectations aren't being met. or was that already there before COVID? Or because of COVID, we're finding people less patient, less understanding? And is all of that a sign of the challenges that people are having with their own positive daily mental health? Morris?
Well, I'm going to kind of step back a bit here and look at this angle.
Okay.
One of our cultural biggest influencers is media. And I love media, great entertainment, great way of socializing, you know, seeing some cool movies and TVs. I love it, love it, love it. But here's the thing. When we see, I'm going to pick on guys just for a second, but there's that particular type of way we should be. Guys, what's a man? A football player, big muscles, got the money, got the girls, right? Got the toys, James Bond, right? Got the class, the style, got the martini. Girls, right? Women, they have to look a particular way. They have to have kind of status. So there's a lot of pressure of how to be. Like, now you add social media, it's a lot of people are putting their best foot forward. They're not necessarily showing what's underneath the surface. So when a person is feeling kind of down, what do we want to do? We want to interact with other people. So we go on TV, we go on the computer, we go check our Facebook, and we see someone posting a beautiful picture at this event or whatever it may be. We don't know the whole backstory of that person, but all we see is that. And now that expectation that we should be at that level of life. Plus the pain of how we want to make sure, how do we take care of our household? All right. So there's a lot of pressure there. And I feel sorry for a lot of people when the reality is, you scrap all that to the side. What makes you happy? Look in the mirror. Who cares what anybody says about you? For the longest time, I literally had a hard time being bald. Until I realized one year, one of the most sexiest men around was Jean-Luc Picard. He's bald. That means I have a chance with the ladies. Hey, ladies? Huh? No. But that said, there's that huge expectation, and it all comes down to how do you love yourself? How do you respect yourself? And what are your dreams and goals?
Might the increased use of connecting online contribute to what Morris is suggesting, that it's not necessarily allowing the authentic me to show up,
Yeah.
but the social media me show up? And might this be contributing to a different set of expectations that people are having of one another, and an overreaction when expectations aren't being met, and they show up in a very unkind, unpleasant way? Any thoughts, Dieter?
Yeah, like the social media accounts of a lot of organizations that I've worked with or been involved with, to your point there, they always put the picnics or the United Way campaign, or they always put something fun. They never put Friday morning when the project's late. You never see somebody saying, well, we're having a hard day at company XYZ and we really are struggling.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't that doesn't sell the shoes or the cars or the oil or the gas, whatever. That doesn't sell when you're struggling, right? But that's the authentic side. How do you portray a tough day in the office with some levity and some humor? Just going back to these expectations, Robert and Morris, I think when you as a company are talking to your employees and talking to your clients, what is that expectation, right? What is that image, right? How tailored and how artificial is that image going to be? Or are we going to say, yeah, we had a hard time?
I like what you said. Can you say that again? The levity to be. Okay.
Can I rewind that? And
well, we're having a hard day at company XYZ and we really are struggling.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't sell the shoes or the cars or the oil or the gas, whatever. That doesn't sell when you're struggling, right? But that's the authentic side. How do you portray a tough day in the office with some levity and some humor? No, I'm to have some levity or some humor in your day and to tolerate the challenges. And you see that with Elon Musk. Did either of you watch when he showed his new truck? Okay, so Elon Musk has a truck that he's built, or he's manufacturing, and he's collecting money for it to build it. And the outside is like the DeLorean Back to the Future car. It's the stainless steel, no paint. And he had a special glass that he put in that was kind of impact resistant. So the first thing that they do is have this really strong guy with a sledgehammer hit the outside of the truck to show, ta-da, it's resistant to being hit by an 8-pound sledgehammer. So yay, this is a great truck. And then they rolled up the window and they threw something at the window and it shouldn't have broke. But because the guy had just hit the truck with the hammer, the glass had already been damaged. So when they threw this metal ball at the window, fully expecting it not to break, it broke. So Elon Musk on Twitter and on social media, he said, hey, we made a mistake. And to explain that the glass is really good, the sledgehammer thing kind of was a bad idea. So he made light of it and he adopted it. And it helped propel his authenticity, his levity with all of it, his humor. And it aligns his expectations of the vehicle with his potential customers.
Okay, so let's start wrapping it up on that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Giving ourselves, men and women in the workplace, the levity or the space to be authentic around how they feel, how work is coming along, how their mental health is that day, as opposed to hiding behind the real that is you, the authentic that is you, because that's just not a workplace expectation. And that's where I'd like to go with this as we wrap it up. The idea that now is a great time for workplaces to loosen up, to lighten up, to provide time or space for people to be open, to share, to talk about, as Morris said earlier, what's not only going on in the moment, but what might be going on behind the scenes, the story that nobody really knows about until it's spoken of, until it's talked about. Any last words on that, Morris?
I think you pretty much nailed it right on the head there. No, but there's one thing. One thing I was really, really impressed was I was at this online conference and there was people from all over the world. And what was amazing was here I come to this conference thinking, okay, I got this baggage, all these problems. And all of a sudden we all start started sharing our problems. And I'm like, wait a minute, you have the exact same problems I do. And you're from Europe, you're from New Zealand, you're from all parts of the world. And what's cool is the authenticity of all of us opening our hearts and sharing, knowing that we all have good days and bad days. We all have problems. And the fact that we can share it shows that we're all human. Not to be ashamed of it. And what made me excited was we were all able to work together to help each other out. Because we're all at different stages in our journey. So let's help each other out.
I wrote I wrote something in the beginning part of an article today, and it goes something like this: that when we express I care, it takes our relationships to a much higher quality, relationship. And there's something in the power of putting forth the idea that you have permission to be you. And guess what? I care. And it really enhances the relationship and turns the relationship into something that's of higher quality, higher value. What are you thinking of, Dieter?
Yeah, let's take what you just said and put that into the workplace, where the manager is talking to the employee and the employee says, hey, can we talk about your expectations on how you want me to show up in the morning? Or can we talk about expectations on feedback? Some people love feedback. Come at me every 15, 20 minutes and tell me I'm doing a good job, not doing a good job. Other people are like, once a year, 360 review, that's more than enough. Thanks. Just leave me alone. Let me do my job, right? So to be able to say to somebody, these are my expectations, to be able to voice yourself, I think that's really valuable.
Absolutely.
And for the leader to reciprocate back by saying, I hear you, I'm listening, and I value you, and I care about your well-being and your mental fitness, your mental wellness, and I'm here to serve you. And together we can make that expectation happen for you. What a joy that would be, to be around that kind of energy with your supervisor, with your boss, with your coworker, as we all continue to struggle and find our way in this crazy COVID-19 world. You've been listening to yet another wonderful episode of Three Men. Yet another episode, our third episode. Three Men Get Real. Conversation points. Woo! Conversation points that men don't usually talk about, but we're okay with it. If you're watching this video, thank you very, very much. We will be inviting a guest to our conversation next time around. We have no idea what that's going to look like or who that guest might be. Any last words, Morris? Any last words?
Love yourself, love others, be real, and enjoy.
And find somebody who cares, right?
Yes.
Find somebody who says, I care. And if the people that you're talking to aren't using those words and you want to work towards that, try. And if people aren't reciprocating, then that's okay. Sometimes things have a season and you just say to those people, I'll see you later. I can find other people that care about me.
Watch for my article to be posted on LinkedIn sometime tomorrow. I call this article, Why I Care.
Good.
And so watch for that article. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Go out to play your way and have a great evening. That's it. We're done.
We're done.